Hello friends, my name is Mohak and today I'm back with my another video on object-oriented analysis and design. This video contains what is object-oriented analysis and design principles, how OOAD is used in the real world, and applications of object-oriented programming. Now, what is OOAD? OOAD is an object-oriented analysis and design is a technical approach used in the analysis and design of an application or system through the application of the object-oriented paradigm and concepts including visual modeling. This is application throughout the development life cycle of the application or system, fostering better product quality and even encouraging stakeholder participation and communication. Software and computer application systems are incredibly complex concepts since there are few material restrictions and a lot of possible arbitrary reconstructions. Contrast that to things like bridge or building design, where the concept of a bridge or building is defined by the materials to be used and nature of the environment it is built upon, which results in few options. Software does not enjoy the same restrictions, and the room for complexity to grow is very large. This is very object-oriented analysis and design comes into play. It uses abstraction as a tool to encapsulate complexity, and the more abstractions are introduced, the greater is the reduction in complexity. These acts of abstractions and encapsulation allow for certain problems to be highlighted and subsequently suppressed. Now, OOAD is best applied iteratively since there is no clear process involved, but each aspect where OOAD is applied is refined as it is reused. This is because major portions of the designs are based on the entire aspects of the system and on the entitles rather than on individual functions and code. This enforces the modular approach of OOAD, whose goal is to break down the problem or the system into smaller units called objects that can stand on their own and be changed without affecting the ones around them too much. This makes it easy to add functionality and behavior and allow the system to gracefully accept change. Now, design principles of OOAD. What are software design principles? Software design principles represents a set of guidelines that helps us to avoid having a bad design. The design principles are associated to Robert Martin, who gathered them in agile software development, that is principles, patterns, and practices. According to Robert Martin, there are three important characteristics of a bad design that should be avoided: rigidity, fragility, and immobility. Now, these are the uh, main important principles. Five principles are there, which we know as the shortcut as solid. S for single responsibility principle, O for open close principle, L for Liskov substitution principle, I for interface segregation principle, and D for dependency inversion principle. Now, the single responsibility principle, this principle states that if we have two reasons to change for a class, we have to split the functionality in two classes. A class should have only one reason to change. Open close principle, this principle states software entities like classes, modules, and functions should be open for extension but closed for modifications. L for Liskov substitution principle. This principle is just an extension of the open close principle in terms of behavior, meaning that we must make sure that new derived classes are extending the base classes without changing their behavior. The new derived classes should be able to replace the base classes without any change into the code. I for interface segregation principle. This principle states clients should not be forced to depend upon interfaces that they don't use. D for dependency inversion principle. Principle states that we should decouple high-level modules from low-level modules, introducing an abstraction layer between the high-level classes and low-level classes. Now, the real world for OOAD, that is Object-Oriented Analysis and Design. Object-oriented analysis and design can work very well with real-time systems, and it does not matter whether they are medium or large. There are a number of ways in which the OOAD method for software modeling may be used in the real world. It can be used quite well with the control systems that operate in real time. There is a big difference between theory and practice, and the problem with so many software development theories is that they are just that, theories. At some point, you must get past the planning stage and begin focusing on the execution stage. The goal of the project manager must be to ensure that both the theory and execution work together seamlessly, and it must occur within the given context for an organization as well as the engineering team and the project. Many of the organizations that deal with the real-time systems do not have much experience when it comes to dealing with analysis methods which are formal. There are a number of advantages that teams will get from utilizing the formal method, and some of these include the reuse of all or many important parts of the system, the management of the size or complexity for the system, and the creation of a long-term platform which is useful for products. Most importantly, you will be able to enhance the development process for the software. Many of the products are utilized on the mini computer platforms which are distributed. It is also possible for them to be embedded as well as distributed with the platform or the microcomputer. It is first important to have a good understanding of object-oriented analysis. Object-oriented analysis will make use of a collection of models which are integrated for the identification of entities, also known as objects, which are conceptual. This will occur within the system, and this will be related to their behavior as well as the processing which is needed for them. There are a number of reasons for this approach, and some of them include the careful attention which is paid to issues that occur in the real time, the ability to properly verify the analysis through the simulation of the models, and the availability for the textbooks as well as the training which is needed to use them. It is also necessary to have a solid approach for making the transition from the analysis to the actual design. Now, the applications of object-oriented programming. Client-server systems. Object-oriented client-server systems provide the IT infrastructure, creating object-oriented client-server internet applications. Here, infrastructure refers to operating systems, networks, and hardwares. OSCI, that is Object-Oriented Client-Server Internet, consists of three major technologies: the client-server, object-oriented programming, and the internet. Second is object-oriented databases. They are also called object database management system. These databases store objects instead of data, such as real numbers and integers. Objects consist of the following: attributes and methods. Attributes are data that defines the traits of an object. This data can be as simple as integers and real numbers. It can also be a reference to a complex object. Methods, they define the behavior and are also called functions or procedures. Third point is object-oriented databases. These databases try to maintain a direct correspondence between the real world and database objects in order to let the object retain their identity and integrity. They can then be identified and operated upon. Real-time system designs. Real-time system inherits complexities that make difficult to build them. Object-oriented techniques make it easier to handle those complexities. These techniques present way of dealing with these complexities by providing an integrity framework which includes schedulability analysis and behavioral specifications. Fifth point is simulation and modeling system. It's difficult to model complex systems due to the varying specification of the variables. These are prevalent in medicine and in other areas of natural science such as ecology, zoology, and agronomic systems. Simulating complex systems requires modeling and understanding interactions explicitly. Object-oriented programming provides an alternative approach for simplifying these complex modeling systems. Now, sixth is hypertext and hypermedia. Object-oriented programming also helps in laying out a framework for hypertext. Basically, hypertext is similar to regular text as it can be stored, searched, and edited easily. The only difference is that hypertext is text with pointers to other text as well. Hypermedia, on the other hand, is a superset of hypertext. Documents having hypermedia not only contain links to other pieces of text and information, but also to numerous other forms of media, ranging from images to sound. Now, the seventh is neural networking and parallel programming. It addresses the program of prediction and approximation of complex time-varying systems. Firstly, the entire time-varying process is split into several time intervals or slots. The neural networks are developed in a particular time interval to dispel the load of various networks. Object-oriented programming simplifies the entire process by simplifying the approximation and prediction ability of networks. Eighth point is office automation systems. These these include formal as well as informal electronic systems primarily concerned with the information sharing and communication to and from people inside as well as outside the organization. Some examples are email, word processing, web calendars, desktop publishing. Ninth point is CIM, CAD, and CAM systems. Object-oriented programming can also be used in manufacturing and design applications as it allows people to reduce the effort involved. For instance, it can be used while designing blueprints, flowcharts, etc. Object-oriented programming makes it possible for the designers and engineers to produce these flowcharts and blueprints accurately. Now, 10th point is AI expert systems. These are computer applications which are developed to solve complex pertaining to a specific domain which is at a level far beyond the uh, reach of a human behavior. It has the following characteristics: reliable, highly responsive, understandable, high performance. Thank you for watching this video, and if you like my video then please like, subscribe and share, and please comment on this video. Thank you.